know why we're here. The fans out there, they've come here to see you. And they want it more than you do. We're not getting the goals. We're not getting the crosses. We're not doing the shots. Where's the hunger? Where's the passion? Where's the drive? You are making the opposition look like Lionel Messi. Don't you look at me like that. You can't mark him. You can't tackle him. You can't do anything. It's a game of one half. Inside you right now, there's a fire. Get your heads in the game. I know you've got it in the tank, so start showing it to me. You've got to show me something else. Do we want to win the Gfinity Elite Series? Yes? Well, do you? Well, go out there and do it. Welcome to the Gfinity Arena and welcome along to week 3 of the Rocket League Elite Series competition. Now, for the next 4 hours, we have got you covered. Last week, there were 67 goals scored across 4 matches. And you know what? That is decent, but today, I reckon we can do better. We open up with 2 sides who have contrasting records. Prophecy are perfect. 2 from 2. Epsilon are winless and will be looking for an upset. Infused are also chasing a first win in Season 2 of the Elite Series, but they're up against a new-look Method team today, so we'll fancy their chances. Completing the winless wonders are Endpoint, Season 1 champions suffering a second season slump. Can they get up and running against Envy this afternoon? We then complete the dance card with a doozy. Excel and Reason both undefeated. Who will reign supreme and top the pile? That is all to come, but you know what? We start today with these guys. It's Prophecy. The Renegades. Sebadam and Ironite deserted Doomsy after Season 1. They linked up with Mummy Snow to form what is looking like a super team. Last week, they took on favourites for this competition, Method. The result? Script on up.
Prophecy versus Method, the final match of today.
Method, one of the best teams in the world, is quite heavily skewed towards Method today.
So wins the first game for Prophecy. 1 minute 24 of overtime, and it's Prophecy. Sebadam's going to get his second of the game. Here comes Ignite, and Ignite puts Prophecy up 3-1 in the last second of the game. Method live, we're going into overtime. No, Sebadam wins the game for Prophecy. He's going to be going to another overtime. Oh, Snow wins the series for Prophecy.
Ah, you're too kind. What a lovely audience we have in the Gfinity Arena today. Welcome along to the show. Joining me at the desk, so we call it the all-knowledgeable, expert knowledge.
Oh, that's a bit more.
Chairs about to talk about Rocket League. I think that's about the extent that we
Good, well, I'm glad you're about to talk about Rocket League. Cole, an exciting week 3 in our midst, and definitely to get us firing off on all cylinders, Prophecy taking on Epsilon, and that Prophecy lineup, getting that win against Method, you didn't see that coming at all?
No, so I wasn't here last week. I was watching online. It was a brilliant week, and that performance was from Prophecy was so good against a Method team that I didn't give them a chance against. They've really made themselves one of the standout teams, I think, of this series already.
Yeah, and we know how good Method are, you know, the RLCs. I mean, how good was that side who are now, you know, competing in another competition?
The strange thing is, well, they're playing with 1 substitute for the first 2 weeks. That's Method Arc. They brought Sniper in. But week 1 looked so good. We thought, oh, well, they've got a sub, but they crushed it. So we're not at all worried about them in week 2. But these guys just went to the next level. And it's really, you know, a surprising performance, but really encouraging to see from Ignite, Sebadam, and Mummy Snow. They just popped off. They just annihilated Method. Beat them in their own game. They were just faster. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Ironite, Sebadam moving from Team Infused. They needed a third cog. They needed someone else to complete that trio, the 3 Musketeers, and Mummy Snow seems to be stepping up and doing the business.
Yeah, absolutely. He seems to be happy to be the third player, to avoid where Sebadam and Ignite are on the field and just sort of sweep up, but he's playing that role expertly. He's moving forward and moving backwards at exactly the right time, perfectly in sync with Seb and Ignite. He's allowing them to do what they need to do, but that's not to say that he's not contributing towards goals and assists himself. He is just so powerful an attack himself when the opportunity arises.
Perfect. Well, I'm looking forward to more of the same from those trio, those lads. Epsilon, let's talk about those boys. You know, with Flarky, was in Season 1 with Prophecy, now is with Epsilon. Let's talk about that lineup and why it's not quite clicking at the moment.
It's a strange one, because Flarky and Data, they talked all Season 1 when it wasn't going so well for Flarky's team, Prophecy. He says, oh, I just really want to play with Data, and now he is playing with Data, and it's still not going well. So where do they go from here? They've got their dream duo, and they've thrown in Floris, who's an incredible 1v1 player, world-class in the solo duo playlist, but they just haven't found that chemistry yet. They've not really been able to look like a really cohesive team for a full series. Maybe a game here and there that they'll look world-class, but they need to get more than a game in a best-of-5. So far, they've only got one in both of the best-of-5s that they've played.
Yeah, consistency is what they need. Floris, as Johnny Boy says, you know, coming from a 1v1, he's still learning the ropes of the 3v3. Is that maybe the final cog? As soon as he does that, then there'll be a fully rounded team, Cole, do you reckon?
There's so much more to think about in 3s than 1s. Well, some 1s lovers might
more
disagree.
people.
In my opinion, 3s is a more complicated game than 1s, and it is tough to develop from 1v1s where it's very much about dribbling, it's very much about stealing all the boost. If you see it, you go and get it because you don't want your opponent to get it. Whereas 3s, you then got to think about if your teammates need it.
Yeah.
You know? So that's just one example of why 3s can be so much more complicated. But it can be done. I mean, I certainly back him over the course of the season to continue to improve, and we'll see how that changes Epsilon's results. But the way I see it today, they'll see this game against Prophecy as a chance to make a statement that they are in this tournament and they can do well. We'll see if it's true.
I saw them walking in today into the arena, and they looked a little tired. So hopefully they can get rid of that and have some energy for this first match. Listen, as ever, my co-host Ariel Free is getting the inside scoop backstage with the players themselves. Ariel, I believe you've got Mummy Snow with you.
I have got Mummy Snow with me. Now, Mummy Snow is just saying, don't do this to me, right? I ask you stuff off camera and you give me all the juicy, like, fighting talk, and they go, what do you feel about playing against Flarky? And you go, yeah, he's my best friend. How do you feel about playing against Flarky, your former team member?
It's going to be fun. I know how he plays, and I'm pretty sure we can beat him.
Are you scared today? I mean, you've had 2 solid weeks of winning now with the new lineup.
No, we're feeling pretty confident and just taking it as it is.
Okay, so I was asking you about the snapback. You're not wearing the team snapback. Why is this, Mummy Snow?
It just doesn't fit me.
Why?
Because of my hairstyle.
Because you've got the hairstyle. He's got the ponytail and it doesn't really work. But it's fine. We've got a tiara, so if you win today, we'll put the winning tiara on you, yeah?
Fair enough.
Okay. Well, good luck with the game today. Flarky, he's coming for you.
Well, there you go. If you want to get some merch and you've got a ponytail, it might just not marry up.
Can't you put it through like the gap at the back of the
but
hat?
it isn't. The snapback it's just solid. You don't have the...
Do they not have a gap?
You don't have the clip thing. Yeah, that's how the snapback...
I need to know more about hats.
Well, we do need to. We need to know more about...
Do we have another desk that are expert on hats?
Yeah, there's an expert who's in the other room. They do a seminar at the end of the show tonight. Listen, gentlemen, I want to get your predictions on this. We've heard Mummy Snow seems pretty confident. He knows Flarky's game. But can Epsilon, you know, show us what we'd expect from them?
I don't know. I expected Epsilon to put up more of a fight last week against Envy, even though I thought Envy were the slight favourites. And I massively underestimated Prophecy last week, so I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm giving this one to Prophecy. I don't know about a 3-0. I think 3-1 is probably what I'm going to go for.
Okay, all right. And what about yourself, Cole? I mean, this is we've got 4 matches there. I want to make sure your predictions are on point all day.
Prophecy beat Envy 3-1, and Epsilon lost to Envy 3-1. So mathematically, it's going to be 3-1 to Prophecy.
Okay.
I like that.
Yep.
That's my prediction, but it sounds smarter.
Yeah, I use stats.
Perfect. Listen, gentlemen, I feel like what we should do right now for the big day in week 3 of the Gfinity Elite Series is we should definitely welcome out the players into the arena. So we have it for Prophecy, Sebadam, Ironite, Mummy Snow. For Epsilon, we have Flarky, Data, and Floris. Right then, here we go. The players are coming out. They were a bit reluctant, but that's because they want to get up behind the console and start playing. Epsilon looking for an upset. Prophecy just want to keep on rolling. The match is coming live in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. then. Welcome back. It is the Gfinity Arena. It is week 3, and we're about to get match 1 of week 3 started. We have Prophecy over to the right, and we have Epsilon over to the left. And down here, the most exciting bit of the arena, we have these two fine gentlemen. So lovely to see you. You're back.
Did you miss me?
Just a little bit. Just
a little bit?
No, just a little bit.
What do you mean just a little bit?
Well, I know the audience here at the Gfinity are ready to see you and give you a big applause, and they're excited about this. You've got a cheeky little bit of collar showing off your neck. I like that.
I'm going to slowly undo the buttons.
Okay, don't do that. Definitely don't do that.
I feel like you're having a moment here. Do you want me to leave?
If you could. No, no, of course
you
not.
can take over.
Let's talk about this Prophecy versus Epsilon. You've heard from Johnny Boy and Cole, the two gentlemen over there, who have said that maybe this is going to be Prophecies. But can you see Epsilon getting this win?
Epsilon have looked good the last 2 weeks, but not been able to get results. So it's very unusual as to whether we can predict it based off of their performance. We have to just look at past results and say Prophecy have done well. They've beaten Method, the hard team to beat, so we're expecting them to do well again this week. But I think in terms of ability, it's very close.
Yeah, no, Shogun, come on, talk to me about this. You've been away, you're back now.
Yeah.
You want to see a good, clean fight here with these two teams. You've got the rivalry of Flarky. Obviously, you used to play for Prophecy. What do you reckon's going to happen?
I mean, I honestly believe that Epsilon are going to be like our good old buddy Cool Cole over there. I think they're going to look good, but they're not going to do anything.
He's not even listening.
You didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it.
You just got completely ridiculed, Cole.
Ridiculed.
It's fine.
Compliment.
He doesn't pay attention to me anyway. That's the reason why I go for him. No responses.
Okay, perfect. Well, listen, gentlemen, I'm looking forward to this one. It is Prophecy taking on Epsilon, week 1 of week 3. Week 1 of week 3. Match 1 of week 3.
There we go.
Thank you. Bye then.
Thanks, Tom. So we've got Prophecy versus Epsilon as our first. It's good to have you back, Shogun. Everything's got a little bit more spicy since you returned. But we do have Epsilon versus Prophecy. I think both these teams have potential. They've always had potential. Every player has had potential. Whether they work together has only been shown by Prophecy so far.
Absolutely. And so far, we've seen only a couple of weeks of gameplay happening, and a lot of the times, the first few weeks can give a little bit of a showing as to how these teams are going to be playing, but it does change an awful lot, especially as these teams get more and more used to each other. Remember, a lot of these teams have only just come together. There is still time for more gelling to happen.
Yeah, and the other thing is iGnite and Sebadam, we know last season started really well, and they didn't practice together, and by the end of it, they started to fade away. Is that going to happen again? I hope not, because I feel like they've really got something going here, having Mummy Snow in. But then the other side, Epsilon, Data and Flarky have always wanted to play together, but as we go into the first match of today, Epsilon versus Prophecy.
And this first game would be so telling as well, just how much progress these teams have made.
Oh, what a save!
Levered towards the net, but not turned in. Good start, though, from Epsilon, as they manage to hold on to this being 0-0. Now they need to put together their own opportunity, but that will be saved by Sebadam. Both these teams with opportunities to start the game off.
Yeah, seeing Sebadam here rocking that Skyline. Certainly a car that's been questioned recently, newly added into the game. He performed very well last week against Method with it. Will it work for him again this week? But again, that early stage of every Rocket League match seems to be a bit of a feeler phase, sending the ball long, making sure the opposition are ready, trying to draw mistakes out of them.
Yeah, it's definitely been less of a thing, though, over in Europe. In North America, obviously, a lot of the times, just the first game, very slow. But over here, everyone realizes that 5 games is not that much time. Get the first one, make it a best of 3 effectively for yourself, and have less work to do, as there's going to be an opportunity to set up. But the entirety of Epsilon is in the defense, so they should be able to deal with this pretty well. It's going to be very hard for Prophecy to break their way through, but they are still going to try. Data
oh, that demo.
A big demo. There's going to be no opportunity, though, to come in for the shot, and Data's good positioning will mean that Epsilon will stay safe.
Yeah, you just see that. That miss from Flarky actually worked out quite nicely for him. Found himself positioned upfield. And that's something we saw Prophecy do a lot last week. Mummy Snow found himself scrambling up the Method defense. And that's something we're seeing more and more in Rocket League as players looming in the box. Sebadam, in this case, gets the goal for himself.
I feel so sorry for Flores in this situation. He's got 2v1, did not play that very well. He went for the pre-jump and just couldn't get enough contact on the ball to push it away. Instead, Sebadam can come in with the rebound, and Prophecy are going to continue their strong starts of the season with the opening goal in this game.
No one wants to be left in a 1v2, and I think iGnite, despite messing the shot up, worked it out perfectly, just kind of leaving the ball to flop into the middle, forcing Flores to make a save, and by doing that, hit it straight out to Sebadam, who was able to finish it off. But now it is Epsilon's chance to counter-attack Oh, almost finding out Flarky just a little bit heavy there.
And they need to try and change their rhythm a little bit right now, because every single time Epsilon are having chances of attack, it is one singular wave. It means that they're only really getting their opportunity on the counter. As soon as that goes away, though, they are immediately giving pressure back over to Prophecy. That's not sustainable. It won't work out for them in the long run, especially with Prophecy putting on the pressure that they currently are.
Yeah, that's something Data and Flarky tend to do in their offense. They overcommit very heavily with their offensive opportunities, rather than kind of testing the water, forcing the defense to make saves, picking up the scraps, and then sending in another wave of attack.
This is much better. Flarky straight into the middle. The positioning from Data, not quite good enough, though, to come in with a shot. But an opportunity for Epsilon to start to consolidate their offensive pressure. Off the backboard yet again, but 7am, that is actually going to go for a setup. He has to go in and save his own touch, which he has done so, but still, Epsilon on the offensive. Setup over to Flarky, but it will be saved by ignite.
Quality. Just so good off the backboard there. ignite reading the incoming shot, but now Prophecy are so on the back foot, they're all low on boost, and this is what you're talking about, sent waves of attack in. It has finally dissolved, and ignite towards Data manages to get it away.
Epsilon need to be so careful right now with their saves, because every single time they're doing it, yes, they are getting the save, but they're failing to push the ball away from the net or into the corner. It's offering opportunities for Prophecy to come in with the rebound shot, as that's going to go up high. ignite has to commit. And 7am will come in. Every single member of Epsilon starting to circle around as Flourish just can't quite make it. And Data is going to take his time. Suddenly the momentum seems to have shifted. One goal is the difference, and Epsilon is having all the offensive time.
They are. It's just not left the Prophecy half for the last 2 minutes. And all it's going to take is one mistake from the Prophecy lineup. And this could be it. Both of them missing out there. Data's going to come in. But all three of Prophecy required to just get that ball away from the middle of the pitch.
It just seems like it's survival right now for Prophecy as they continue to hold off layer after layer after layer of Epsilon offense, but now finally to the other end. Mummy Snow, 19 boost to his name. What can he do with it? Not enough to defeat Data. And now immediately Prophecy, every single player is back. They know they don't want to commit to the midfield, but they are offering up so much away as the ball's going to trickle back into the Epsilon side, and they have to restart.
Yeah, there's only 45 seconds left. You can put as much pressure on as you like, but if you're not scoring, it is all irrelevant, because eventually it will get dissolved, and that is the case now. That 3 minutes of hard work from Epsilon has all come to nothing as Prophecy have full control again.
Absolutely, you can do as much work as you want to do, but if you don't get the goal, it's worth absolutely nothing. Data finds himself too close. Will require Flarky to come in, but it's not there in time. ignite. Pass over to 7am, and this is just Prophecy keeping it out of their own half as much as they possibly can. They refuse to overcommit, as it's one more opportunity for Epsilon, but they need to get it out of their half.
10 seconds left. Can they get a final breakaway goal? If they get it on 0 seconds, that would be crazy, because they've spent the whole game creating opportunities, and here it is. 0 seconds on the clock. Keep it up. The ball is still alive.
And this is down to the other end of the pitch. They've got to go for a huge carry, but Mummy Snow will carry it into the net. And despite everything that Epsilon did to finish off that game, they couldn't quite break Prophecy down.
This is the story of Epsilon. They look good. They look like they can score. They look like they have full control, but they just don't get goals, so they don't win games. Both of the last 2 weeks, it's been 3-1. Epsilon have missed out on really tight matches. But that is the reason, goals.
I want to bring something up to you right here in terms of momentum, because we saw Epsilon really take control towards the mid. From the mid of that game afterwards, they were definitely in control of all the pace. They were really able to do whatever they wanted to. Will that give them confidence heading into the next game of just going, you know, if we keep this out of our own half, we've got a much better shot at this?
I mean, for terms of confidence, you look at the scoreboard after a match and you go, let's see whether we actually had control of that game. And Epsilon will have noticed the fact they had 2 shots to their name, which is barely anything. You cannot score and win games by only shooting twice, because the chances are they'll get saved. The chances are the opposition will then dominate in terms of performance. And I think next game, Epsilon just need to stop having pressure and passing, and instead just take those opportunities, try and test the goal line defense a little bit more.
Yeah, in order to be a major offensive force, you need to be averaging about 10 shots per game. Indeed. Considering even a good offensive player, we're seeing about 30 to 40%. That's if you're playing really well. That means you're still scoring incredibly few of the amount of shots that you're taking, so the more offensive time that you have, the better chance you have.
Yeah, and Prophecy only had 5 shots, which is what you would expect after seeing that. If you ignored Epsilon completely and went 5 shots from the team that was on the back foot most of it, fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's just the lack of shooting from Epsilon. Hopefully they can change it going into the next game, as it is currently 1-0 to Prophecy. Epsilon looking good, but can't finish.
Absolutely expect this series to change around quite a bit as we see how they can adapt as all these teams seem to be getting stronger and stronger every single week, but Data will struggle for the time being. He does find himself on 0 boost to start off this game. So it is going to be Prophecy on the offensive end to start us off. How much control can they take? Well, not much.
Poor Data just looking for boost the whole time there. Every time he found himself going towards 100, someone would sneak in and steal it from him. And he's going to spend the first 30 seconds looking for boost, which means he's irrelevant to his teammates. He's finally collected some in the back corner, but at this point it is all Prophecy with the control, even though it's in their own half. Oh! Did you see that? Slarky trying to do a little like aerial doink.
It was Flores going up for it, but it was going to be absolutely incredible. Just not quite there though. Story as ever for Epsilon. Just a little bit further away. I feel like most of it's down to their positioning right now, just never giving themselves an opportunity to really read the play coming towards them. Instead, it's balls on top of me. I have to do something right now, but I can't.
See ball, hit ball. The kind of thing you find in solo standard when you don't know your teammates. But now they're getting themselves a goal, and it is Flores takes the pass from Data, screams it in just below the crossbar.
I love the change to the strategy. No longer see ball, hit ball. This time for Flores, it was see ball, smash ball. Get the goal.
Empty net as well. I don't know how that occurred. We didn't quite see the breakdown beforehand, but I'm sure that was due to a few controlled touches from Epsilon. They seem to be looking to not just hit the ball towards their opposition, but instead keep possession.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what Epsilon do from being ahead in this series. We spent a lot of the last game just trying to chase up the Prophecy defense, but this time they can try and settle a little bit more and really sort out those rotations. Opportunity for a double tap, but Flark is there. Over to Data. Good touch from him. Every single player, though, from Epsilon is in their own half, not wanting to overcommit. Just don't want them to get caught right now, because Prophecy, if they are given possession, they do start to realize that they have got it. They can take advantage. Here comes 7down with the shot, and he will take advantage. Nobody on Epsilon with any boost. No chance to react.
It's like popcorn in the net. Just every player just jumping up and down, not really sure where they're meant to be going. And as Flarky was landing, he saw 7down flying in. He knew that 7down was going to send that one high into the crossbar, but he couldn't get back up in time because he was relying on gravity to get him back into the game quicker.
Well, I did ask the question, what would Epsilon do if they were in the lead? I was a little bit disappointed by the results, if I'm not going to lie. It didn't last long.
Indeed.
Data over in the corner. Potentially get a setup, but Prophecy strong enough on their rotations. And right now, neither team really wanting to commit to that midfield. There's no midfield hold from either sides. Just seems to be end-to-end gameplay from both squads. And I'm not too sure how I feel about that. It does seem like it's giving up pressure that doesn't need to be.
Yeah, it's these big hits that people are going for. If Ignite got that angle, that would have been goal of the day, I'm sure. Not many people can match his quality at reading the ball off the backboard. But alas, it does not go in. We are noticing, though, these high backboard passes, they worked incredibly well for Prophecy last week. Because 7down good at reading them, Ignite good at reading them, Mummy Snow very good at setting them up. But look, you just see they're aiming for it over and over again. And I think this is going to work out for Epsilon because they do tend to use that backboard as a defensive mechanism.
Yeah, you can already see them looking for it. Going to be opportunity now. Mummy Snow going to go for the carry by himself. Was very difficult. Data almost clattering straight into Flores will keep this at least a little bit dangerous for them. Now Ignite on the retreat. It's going to be taking on Flores on the wall, who just couldn't react. See one of those demos coming through. Europe using less of these more effective demos than we saw from North America. I feel like that might be down to just more solid rotations. It's much harder to find someone.
Yeah, in Europe we tend to spread out a little bit more. And we also move a little bit faster, I would argue. I mean, at this point, most professional Rocket League players are trying to stay at supersonic as much as possible, which is why demos are such an available option, because if you're moving fast, you're near an opposition player, you'll just go for them. You just may as well drive via your opposition player.
Data,
there's been a little bit this game, a little bit of demolition work.
Data was having a little bit of an argument there with the post. The post is currently 63-0 against players, and Mummy Snow will put Prophecy 2-1 up.
Yeah, Mummy Snow just all by himself, taking on the whole team with one fake, one flick, and goal time for him. He was the MVP last week for his team, carrying, I wouldn't say carrying them, they all played incredibly well, but being the difference, being in those awkward positions, creating goals just like that, and that is what allows Prophecy to go ahead in this game.
Absolutely. If you get the Gfinity MVP, that means you were the man. We see every single player out here. They all put their all in, and it's be that one player that everyone looks at and just goes, you know, he was the big dog. It's a big deal indeed, as Mummy Snow once again playing the ball. Maybe not too great, though, as Flag now trying to go for a setup. That's going to be difficult, though, as Sebadam layers it across the other end of the pitch. And that is not going to be great there from Data, offering Sebadam the opportunity to continue moving forward, but Flores does come in with the cleanup. And Greg, I really want to pose this question over to you because I feel like this is a huge problem for Epsilon right now. Of a lot of the time when they are on the defensive end, they put people really far back into the goal, and it means that they're just allowing so much space for Prophecy to put forward their own offensive plays. There's no real challenges early on.
You said you're going to put forward a question, Shogun. You've kind of answered it yourself.
I'm sorry.
They're a little bit far back. You pretty much summed it up. Yeah, when you go on your own goal line, it does mean that any shot you take, you're relying on one mechanical situation to stop it. Whereas if you meet it early, then it stops that shot ever taking place, and so you're reducing the amount of opportunities you're giving them. And I think, as you said, Epsilon are waiting to the final moments to defend, which does give Prophecy the control, and it means they create goals like Mummy Snow did earlier on. And we do see another final hopeful moment here for Epsilon. Can they make a goal in the 0-second period? It is up. It is high. Can they do it?
Going to have the opportunity. It's going to start dropping down, though, and they just couldn't quite get there. Prophecy going to take the second game, and they are on target for the sweep. And Greg, we learned a couple of things in that game. Mostly, Epsilon, unable to hold on to that 1-goal lead, went away very quickly. And the other thing we learned is I probably shouldn't ever put together GCSE questions.
No, because you would give every kid the answer when they're in the exam.
The first generation of all A-stars.
Here's a question for you.
Yes.
What was the difference between Epsilon and Prophecy shots between game 1 and 2?
Let's have a look. Let's do... Oh, there, nothing.
I shouldn't have
absolutely zero.
Maths on camera.
No, I got it right, okay? There was nothing at all.
You got there in the end. Absolutely zero. So 5 shots again for Prophecy, and then 2 on the side of Epsilon. So matched completely. And it showed in the result. It was very tough there for Epsilon to find a goal. There was only that one early opportunity. And we said that was what they needed to do. They needed to find more shots. And Prophecy don't need to do much more. They just need to keep defending and waiting for those opportunities, those one-off moments like Mummy Snow there, to take on the whole team, and they'll win.
Absolutely. It seems like Epsilon, and we brought this up when we started off the series, that as you play more and more together, you get more used to the rotations. You start becoming a lot more tight when it comes to that, and just a lot more fast. But right now, even though we're at week 3, they still look shaky together. It's just like they're still figuring out where each other are supposed to be in the rotation rather than knowing where each other are in the rotation.
It's something I've always loved and hated about Data. He's great at setting up, but he himself is not willing to shoot that often when he's given the opportunity. That takes one player out of your team. Then you've got Flores, who's a 1v1 player. So suddenly he's got very few opportunities to score because he relies on those situations where he doesn't have many opposition in his way. And then you've got Flarky, who needs someone to set up for him in ideal situations all the time. But he's only got Data who can do that. Yes. So you've got this scenario where you rely on everyone being in the perfect position to score the goal, where really in Rocket League now, everyone needs to be able to do everything. And hopefully we can see that from Epsilon as they are on their final chances now. It is 3 match point opportunities for Prophecy.
And Epsilon, you're going to have to try and get a lot more shots and a lot more goals. I feel like at least 2 would be the minimum for them right now, as Flaky have a lot of time to try and take over, although the danger was indeed there. Flores can try and take it by himself, but just couldn't quite get it past. And then there's the big boomer from Flaky. We'll take it down to the other end of the pitch.
What I like about Prophecy's defense is they work as one unit. That's going to ricochet down off the crossbar. Can Flarky finish it? Sends it to the blind side where Mummy Snow has to adjust his car. The final moments does so, and Epsilon miss out on a prime opportunity to get an early goal once again.
The defense was not solid, but it was a net, flexible enough to just put itself around and eventually get a save. Here's a shot from Sebadam. It will be set off the backboard. The follow-up, just not fast enough, goes off the crossbar. And there is Flarky to play it away. A lack of accuracy right now from both teams, just costing them.
Oh, it is the big difference maker now. If you can shoot an opportunity which could be a goal every single time, you're going to be a winning team. And that's why we see Method doing so well these days, because every single one of those players can score goals.
Ignite. Oh, just trying to find something, but the lack of boost meant he couldn't get enough power to find his teammate over in the middle. Here is Data, puts it up high. First goal is going to be absolutely crucial in this matchup. Flores out of position. He might have also taken out Flarky as well, but no follow-up from Prophecy. Shadow is incredibly late.
Trying to intercept that there, just waiting for the opportunity.
Hit the ball, please.
Into the net.
Just hit the ball. I don't really care about the net right now.
Well, they're trying. They're trying their absolute best, Shogun. Give them credit where credit is due. That ball is moving around the pitch.
Flores now does end up missing. Flarky can take over, but it is awkward for him to deal with. Still Prophecy on the offensive end. They are suffocating Epsilon into their own half. The two middle boosts completely owned by Prophecy. Just so difficult right now for Epsilon to mount anything of their own, and eventually you have to believe that they will break down. One of the better defensive touches there from Flores, but still struggling to get it out.
Yeah, I often notice as well with Flarky, Flores, and Data, they seem to not know when their teammates have a better opportunity, so they end up flailing at the ball even though they're not ever going to hit it. And those kind of situations mean you're delayed in getting back, you use a little bit of boost, and it wastes those resources that are so vital. Boost is so important at this level.
Ignite going to go for the flick up. Still dangerous for Epsilon. They haven't got this out so far. Nobody going to be there in time. Mummy Snow can keep the pressure going with 40 boost to his name as well. Can put towards something. He's going to try and take out Flarky. Don't quite know if he got him. He still have made at least an impact, though, in terms of just making it a little bit annoying for the poor lads.
Yeah, you never want to see a player go towards you. Mummy Snow does get the demo on Flores this time. Thankfully for Flores, Data is the next one to the ball. It's always scary when you get demoed. You expect during the respawn time to see that goal scored animation.
And this is going to become so dangerous right now for Epsilon because they're becoming static in the net. They can't afford to be caught out. Now Data with the setup, but there is going to be no one around. So tough right now for Epsilon to put anything forward because they are being completely drained out of the game. That even when they do get offensive pressure, unable to make it last long. Data with a flick down, and Flores would have basically had to have landed perfectly for Epsilon to get anything real out from that. Sebadam set up from the corner. Opportunity to go up high. Flarky will get beat. Set up still, but every single time it is Prophecy on the offense.
Yeah, and it seems that when Epsilon get it away from their half, it seems to just return straight into the possession of Prophecy. So no matter what they're doing, they're just giving all the control to this Prophecy team. That's a great
they've
job.
put them out! Data is going to give Epsilon the opening goal in a crucial game.
This is the first time I think I've seen Data hit the ball powerfully towards the net. He's not normally found in those positions, but he recognized the gap. He recognized there was no one in goal. If he hit it hard, cleanly towards the goal line, he would score. And that is how it worked out with that Reaper dabbing to celebrate his victory.
Don't. Everything was good about that goal until the goal celebration came out.
Yeah, for those of you who do not know, the Reaper, a Halloween special goal explosion. It does dab. Watch out for that one.
It's a shame that that's the scariest part of it. Ignite with the set. Mummy Snow also off the backboard. Sebadam's got himself some time, and he's got an absolutely beautiful shot off.
Just using the bottom side of his card to angle that ball in after Mummy Snow's backboard touch. We said they like the backboard, and that is why they get up so quickly. And it's those final moment adjustments just to read the angle to send it towards the goal. And that levels the scoreline so quickly there. Final moments here, and it's 1-1.
Epsilon just can't hold on to their offensive lead. Dropped it twice now. Data tries to get there, goes off the post. And now it's going to be the midfield challenges. The majority of the 50-50s going over to Prophecy. Struggling to get it out, though. How much boost do they have? It will be difficult to tell. But for the time being, Sebadam going to put himself on the back line as he waits to see if any shots will come towards him. As Flarky taps down, Data is there, can just take out the defending player. Flores is going to come in late. It's going to be a difficult shot for him to take, but he has managed to get at least something off, but not dangerous enough.
Final 10 seconds. Are either team going to take it on? Are they going to put every bit of resource into trying to score? If any team can, it will be Prophecy now as they drop it into the box. Mummy Snow keeps it alive.
Jinx just got a little bit... Oh yeah, actually you can talk. You know, let's not take that away from your voice. This can become a very difficult job.
I mean, you can do a solo cast. Go ahead.
Okay.
Overtime's yours.
Okay, I got this. Ball up high right now. Both of these teams all tied up. Prophecy must get themselves a goal, and they can end this series right here, right now.
Okay, I'm bored of your voice already. Let's
go. Wow, that's just harsh.
Seconds through, as we're just seeing Prophecy in full control in this overtime. If they take this overtime, they win the game with a clean 3-0 sweep. Every bit of pressure now is on Epsilon.
Back into the corner. Flores trying to play it out. Right now, Epsilon need to avoid getting themselves stuck over here. As here comes Mamiso with the shot, tries to put it low, but Data with a miracle save, still Epsilon stuck in their defense. Need to find a way, but here comes Ignite, the coup de grace, and Prophecy will take the win.
It was only a matter of time before these shots would grind down Epsilon defense as Sebadam sends it to the back post. Ignite in the blind spot of Data, touches it down into there, doesn't need power, he just needs accuracy and does so. Prophecy get the clean 3-0 sweep over Epsilon.
Wow, Prophecy are definitely the team to beat right now. Just on fire, seem like they are able to just control the entirety of the pitch. They owned Utopia this week.
Oh, look at that, the ex-teammates hugging it out there. We're all friends here at Rocket League, which does make these wins that much sweeter. You know when you beat your friend at school in a game and you think, yeah, I beat them, but you're going to be nice to them. That's what the Rocket League community is like. Everyone wants to win, but everyone is friendly.
Absolutely, but Prophecy, they're going to be well chuffed with that result. Once again, stepping up, showing something that is very difficult to achieve in Rocket League, and that is consistency. But this was consistently dominant.
It was indeed, that crossbar being a very helpful component for both teams at various moments, but it was just the onslaught of pressure from Prophecy that came out the victor. There were moments of brilliance for Epsilon, like that, Data spotting the empty net.
The major problem for this entire series for Epsilon was the fact that because they were stuck in their own end so often, it was impossible for them to set up plays like that where Data could be in the middle of the field and give them an extra option. Because everyone's behind the ball, there is no option. It's dribble or clear, nothing else.
And they often pushed up with very little boost, and it's very tough to find shots when you're going upfield, looking for those pads on the way. But that was strong performance from Prophecy. They're now 3 match wins out of all the matches, so they are doing very well. I think they're going to be sat at the top of the leaderboard for a little while now. But I think the analysts over there, they've got something to say about that strong performance from Prophecy. Back to you, Tom.
Oh,
There we are.
Beautiful wave there from Shogun. And also, I agree with you, Greg, and quite an annoying voice after a while, isn't it? Anything? Is he going to comment on that? You said it. Your words, not mine.
I'll take that.
We're going to have a word when our mics are off.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll have a word. Listen, welcome. What a great way to start today, week 3, match 1. I know how to say it now. I tell you what, it was such a dominant performance from Prophecy. How good are they? That's the question I'm going to pose to you, gentlemen.
I would say that they performed better last week against Method. The overall performance was better. The quality that they showed was better. This week was a little bit more scrappy. I think every game was 1 or maybe 2 goals difference in it. None of the games were an absolute annihilation this week. But what they've done is, despite having to grind out a result, they've done that very well against a resilient Epsilon.
They have indeed, and they've obviously now beaten Epsilon, but Envy and Method, we know how good Method are around the world in the competitions they are competing in. They know how much of a solid team that is. So Prophecy, they're doing what they have to do. Yeah. They're beating everybody that's put in front of them.
Yeah, they're the real deal. These guys, they started pretty hot last season with a completely different roster, and then they fell to pieces, lost 5 games in a row. But they've beaten their record from last season already, 3-0. And I don't think it stops here. This is not just maybe a playoffs team, could be a top 2 team.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, I mean, you look at game 1 that happened, it's so dominant from Epsilon, but they were 1-0 down, they had a lot of the majority of possession, but they just couldn't score. And that's really what is going to hold them back. If they can't score enough or take enough shots, they're not going to win enough games.
Well, the casters pointed it out. It seemed that Epsilon, they'd knock on the door, as you say, throughout, and then when it would come time to take a shot, they just wouldn't really commit to it. It didn't seem like they believed that they would score. When they took that shot, when you take a shot against goalkeepers as good as Prophecy, you have to really bullet the ball into the net.
You do,
and they just didn't seem to be doing that.
It was like child's play. Yeah,
it
was like taking candy from a baby.
So I have to take baby steps, you know what I mean?
Yeah, any more? Any more? Any more? Got any more? No? Okay, listen, that's how young Rocket League fans are getting. But listen, just one more question before I throw to Ariel and find out who she's with at the moment. You look at Excel, that's Prophecy's next matchup. Excel obviously not quite making the RLCS finals, but a very strong team though.
Yeah, a team that they changed 1 player since last season, and they've gone from 7th place to looking like, you know, another top 2 contender. There's Prophecy are in that conversation, Method are of course in that conversation, Excel are the other team. That all the other teams at the G-Finity Elite Series, they all think, yeah, the Excel guys. I mean, we heard Doomsy last week. He said that them taking 1 game away from Excel was a win. for them. They thought that's pretty good for us.
So it is going to be a real test for Prophecy. But if they can get over that hurdle, then you would say that looking good for the semi-finals.
Yeah, see, I think if they can beat Excel, they're probably favourites to finish first even. Because there's some easier teams left for them to face beyond that. There's no easy games this season, though. There's no... by the looks of things, no team that's just going to fall over and lose 5-0 3 times in a row.
There are no easy games in Rocket League. Well, as long as they don't get rattled and lose their confidence, they are looking very good. Ariel, where are you right now?
I'm here in the green room, the new winning area, and I'm joined by Sebadam. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, thank you.
You guys, I mean, what should we say? Sharp and sweet that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult because we were on defense all the time, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, talk to me about that, because Epsilon was strong, but they just couldn't quite get the goal, could they?
Yeah, they challenged for a lot of balls, but they didn't really do anything with it. They just hit the ball and just expected something to happen.
Was it a hard match for you guys, or not really?
For me, I think it was a bit difficult because I kept missing every single ball, like game 1 and 2. So that was a bit problematic, but luckily we still won.
But you got over that challenge. You're here at 3-0, no big deal, and then you can go into next week confident. This is a good lineup for you guys. Are you feeling good as a team right now? Yeah,
feeling very good. The synergy is pretty good as well, and we're aggressive most of the time.
Yeah, you are quite aggressive. You have got XL next week. Now, they're quite a hurdle as a team. How are we going to go into that game?
Just how we normally play, aggressive. I think they'll crumble under the pressure.
They'll crumble under pressure. Well, I like this. Are you putting in the hours? Are you training together quite a lot?
Yeah, decent amount.
Good.
Yeah.
See, when you put the practice in, it all comes together. Good luck next week for XL, and well done for today. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Some very cheeky goals and important goals from Sebadam today. And I loved a bit of Ariel's rapping there. You're here, 3-0, no big deal. It was very enjoyable. Listen, we'll see more from Ariel in a bit, but we'll take a short break now. But when we come back, we've got 2 of last season's semi-finalists, Method and Infuse. Both have new look lineups, both looking to settle in on the Elite Series stage. Just us in a couple of minutes. When I say just us, I mean join us.